All right, let's talk about something that I bet keeps a lot of you up at night. What is our data actually worth? It always feels like this moving target. But today, we're going to break down exactly why that is and show you how a pretty simple shift in how you think can change your entire game. You know the feeling, right? You're trying to build a business case for a new data initiative, and you hit this wall. You know deep down the value's there, but trying to pin an actual number on it, it feels like you're chasing a ghost. Well, you're not alone. And it turns out there's a really, really good reason for this struggle. So here's the thing. The problem isn't that the value of data is some kind of myth. Not at all. The real problem is that we're using the wrong model to measure it. We're using a broken model that was never, ever designed for an asset like data in the first place. So what is this huge misunderstanding? Well, it all boils down to the fact that we don't really know how to classify data. We have this habit of lumping it in with all our other digital stuff, our apps and our software, and that, right there, is our first and our biggest mistake. Okay, this is the key. You have to start thinking of data as an asset. Its value is inherent. It exists before you ever plug it into a single report or an application. A piece of software, on the other hand, only has value when it's doing its job, when it's performing its function. Data's value is just sitting there, latent, waiting to be used. Now, what's really cool about this is how it completely reframes the comparisons we make. When we're talking about budgets, we often put a new data platform on the exact same level as a new CRM application. Let's dig into why that is just a completely flawed way of looking at it. See, a digital product is a finished good. It's done. Its value is totally contained and limited to whatever it was built to do. But data is the raw material. It's the steel, it's the wood, it's the code itself. Its value exists way before it gets shaped into any one specific thing. And this is where it all clicks into place. This is the real hierarchy. You start with data. That's your knowledge, your procedures, your standards. Then you design something to mobilize that data. And the result is a digital product. The huge insight here is that the product is not a peer of the data. It's a derivative of it. Exactly. So asking for the ROI of a data warehouse versus the ROI of a new sales app, well, it's like asking a car manufacturer to compare the value of their entire steel supply to the value of one single car they just built. The comparison makes absolutely no sense, does it? Okay, so let's get to what I think is the most fascinating part of this whole puzzle. Because once we accept that data is a raw material with all this latent value, we run headfirst into a really strange paradox the moment we actually try to use it. Just picture a perfectly clean, well-governed data set in your organization. As long as people can understand it, reuse it, and share it, its potential to create value is practically infinite. I mean, the sales team could use it, marketing could use it, logistics, finance, you name it. The possibilities are truly endless. But the moment you take that beautiful, flexible data and you lock it into one specific supply chain application, let's say to power a stock prediction feature, everything changes. That boundless potential suddenly gets squeezed into a tiny box. This table just lays out the trade-off perfectly. When data is free and shareable, its potential value is infinite. But its effective value is latent. It's not actually doing anything yet. The second you lock it in an app, boom, its potential value becomes limited, but its effective value becomes super high and measurable. We are literally trading infinite possibility for concrete but very narrow utility. So why? Why does this paradox even exist? Why do we keep taking our most valuable, flexible raw material and locking it up in these little boxes? Well, it's because we've forgotten the fundamental, the primal reason we even collect data in the first place. It really just boils down to three core cognitive needs. First, to confirm or deny something. Did we hit our sales target? Yes or no? Simple. Second, to evaluate different scenarios. What would happen if we increased our ad spend by 10%? And third, to automate actions based on a decision we've already made. And think about that. Even automation is a cognitive act. It's just executing a decision we already came up with. So, once you start to see data through this new lens, as a raw material whose primary mission is cognitive, it forces you to ask some radically different and, frankly, way more powerful questions about how you're running your entire organization. Seriously, think about it. If data is really about knowledge, then shouldn't we be treating the knowledge that's captured in our internal memos, or our job descriptions, or our meeting notes with the exact same care and governance as the numbers in our sales database? I mean, where do you draw the line? And here's an even bigger one to chew on. If a digital product is just a derivative of data, then isn't it really just another form of data? A form that's often totally ungoverned and locked away, containing all this valuable logic and procedure that could probably be reused all over the place. And that question right there brings us full circle. If our products are just fancy containers for our data, then every single time we calculate an app's ROI, what we're really doing is measuring a tiny, tiny fraction of the true ROI of our underlying data asset. So the final question I'll leave you with is this. What would change in your organization if you started thinking that way tomorrow?